Hi everyone, it's history tonight. God, blimey, it's just a big pain at the back of my neck then. Coming on. Anyway, good evening. Let's hope that'll be a good one tonight. I've got a murder lined up, which is controversial to say the least as well. That's all I do is controversial murders rather than, the ones that are cut and dried. I don't do any things like that. But these are every murder that I do is very controversial. So I hope you'll enjoy it. Can't get over that. Can't get over. I was even dreaming about it. I was dreaming about me bloody tooth. You can't make these things up. Anthony's not with me tonight, unfortunately, because a very dear friend of ours died. Joe Ankara. I'll be talking about him later on. Joe, smashing lad. Used to be in the Chance. I remember seeing him, the last time I seen him a couple of years ago, and I was chatting to him. And he said, did you ever see me at the, I said, yeah. I said, I've told you that loads of times. He said, I bet you didn't. I bet you're only trying to be nice to me. I said, I know. That's what kind of a fella he was. I fucking hate this. Oh. It's given me an inferiority complex. It really has given me an inferiority complex. And when I'm saying, like I can't say F's, like Sophie Leatherhead, if you know what I mean. It comes out if. Well, anyway, that's the way it is. That's the way it is. And Anthony, he did a wonderful thing called, excuse me, 100 Liverpool heads thinking as one. And Joe was a friend of ours. And Joe was included. And there he is. That's the painting that Anthony did of him. Joe. And he's just passed away. Such a lovely man. Great singer. A gentle, what do you call it? You know the way they say, oh, gentleman. And he was a gentle man, if you know what I mean. Gentle man. A gentle soul. And he'll be sorely missed. He really will. Will Joe. Joe Ankara. Rest in peace, Joe. We all love you. You'll never be forgotten. Ever. There's an old mate of mine. Mad silly this, Frank, isn't it? What do you mean? It's that tail. Do you know what? John, it's very rare that the item fatties comes on. Mad sale this, Frank. You're not talking about Trump, are you? John, for what's going on today. It's an absolute disgrace what's going on. It really is. Do you know if anyone came out and said that? Say like it was, say like it was, I don't know, say like it was a South American country, for example, and they were coming out with the words he's coming out with and the threats and everything. That's a war crime. they'd be locked up and put in the Hague. But with the likes of this fella, what did he say? He's going to put Iran back to the Stone Age. He hasn't got a clue about Persia. They were the most civilized country in the world. The Middle East. Give you an example. Damascus, for example. You know, before anything else, even us, Damascus was a metropolitan city a few thousand years ago. Syria, Damascus. The Persian, remember, my phone keeps doing, you know, every time I talk, you know, that little thing goes around. And it goes, it's ridiculous. Anyway, Persia, what did he do when Trump got in? It should have gave us one of the biggest stints ever. When he said, it's not the Gulf of Mexico anymore. It's the Gulf of America. The Gulf of America. It's terrible. Sounds in the F's. But anyway, that's what he said. And then he turned around, which should have been the biggest stint. Like, it's not the Gulf of Persia now. It's the Gulf of Arabia. What right has he? I don't want to swear tonight. I really don't. But what right has he got? What right has he got to go into countries and take out a president of their sovereign country and put him in jail and parade him around New York in an open van? What right has he got to do that? And no one blinks, or no one says anything. Europe, phony. The European leaders, phony. And you've got the EU, von der Leyen, corrupt. And she's leading us, unelected. She was elected by the WEF. It's so annoying. And what does Trump say? I'm going to take the oil. I love oil. This is what he's saying. And you've got that Esket, that greasy, drunken oaf. He sacked a general because what they were doing, they were on the premise of saying, oh, we're going to rescue one of our pilots. What the fuck are they? Swore, look. What are they doing there anyway? But it wasn't. It was to steal uranium, the magic dust. And they were shot down. A general said to him, don't do it. This is insanity. And he sacked him. This is a greasy oaf who knows nothing, who's as thick. Do you know what? I don't know why I get into these things, you know. Anyway, I'm going to say hello to you as well. Xabi Alonso. Hey, Xabi. Today brings it to the closure of this Easter celebration. Tomorrow could be history for the ragged remnants of the IRGC. Anyone who said this regime was undefeatable looked very foolish at this time. Yes. Great Great comment. The lovely Liver Bird. So much for peace and love. Yes. And there's Yabby again. Hopefully my brothers and sisters will be free soon. God's willing, and be able to live in peace with their Arab neighbours. Our new dawn is approaching. Yeah, let's hope, eh? Let's hope, fella. Good evening, Frank and Legends. Smash the likes on the way in. Thank you. Thank you so much, Johan. Good to see you, mate. And Phil. Evening, everyone. Yeah, wasn't that gentle? Evening, everyone. Evening, Phil. Mad tale this, Frank, isn't it? Absolutely, John. It's shocking, mate. It's shocking. What is it? I was just trying to think of a quote there, what you said there, John. It is a tale told by an idiot full of sounds and fury, signifying nothing. And that's fucking swore again. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for swearing, but and that's Trump, the idiot, signifying nothing. Signifying nothing. Ah, lovely Bella. Buonasera, Franco. And chatters. That's lovely. Hiya, Bella. Good to have you with us. Thank you. Good evening, Frank. Red's a sort of lovely chatters. Frank, I also lost a tooth at the front. A reaction to heart meds, which my gums swell. I also need a dentist. Fat chance. Go away, Liver. 700 quid. Plus. Look, you can still see the route. Do you think I should sue Nestle and make them pay for it? Or sue me daughter Francine for bringing me down with a chunky Kit Kat. Just gone. Tooth. Believe it. Oh, John, yeah. Yeah, the Pru. Yeah, I'm doing that now. The Pru Murder, yeah. Doing it. Right, well, after this, when I'm going through the lovely comments. Not Johnny Lump, Frank. One clown, absolutely. I thought you said about, what he wants to do, that's all. And Phil says the parade was to emanate the actions of the Roman Empire, of course. I'll be doing the Romans in a couple of weeks, by the way. Someone asked me would you, because I used to lecture about them, didn't I? I'll do Roman Britain. Honestly, it's funny, It's like Roman Britain is like Monty Python. It really is. I can't wear these, I'm sorry, I'm changing my glasses. And Barry says, evening, Frank and everyone. Me and my good lady were in town today. Had a lovely walk, calling in the museum. Also went into St. Nicholas Church opposite the Liverpool building, although, there. Yes. Yes. I know what you mean. I know where you're coming from when you looked up and you seen something, didn't you? You know that already, of course. And Rapat. Hey, Frank and chat, correct me if I'm wrong. Trump's admin has fired 4 generals so far. Not even 1 year. Yeah, as I mentioned it before about exec, that remember when he said, I'm not the Secretary of Defense anymore. I'm the Secretary of War. Remember that? Secretary of War. That's what kind of an arsehole he is. A greasy, drunken, alcoholic oaf. He's a horrible man, him, with his greasy hair. He's a horrible. He's thick, by the way. He's a divvy, as we call. Lads and a juice. I tell you, Frank, I hope you're I hope you keep him well. I hope you're well. Yeah. Oh, it's good to see you there, Dan. Really is. Really is, sweetheart. Good evening, Frank, and everyone in the chat says the lovely ambidextrous little Ellen. Thank you, Ellen. Good to see you, sweetheart. Little Linda. Evening, Frank and Anthony, and all chatters. Evening, Linda. Toscana. Buonasera, Franco and chatters. Hope you've all had a good Easter. I've had a quiet Easter as usual. Quiet. Never went anywhere. Can't go anywhere. Just sat in like a dope. That was it. Even if Frank and chat, hope everyone has a lovely long weekend, says Owen Lee. Suppose he did. Yep. Live a bed. Trump is like an indestructible cock. I like that. His obituary is long overdue. That's good that to class him as a cockroach, because cockroach is indestructible. If there was a nuclear war, we'd all be wiped out. Yet cockroaches that survive. And he is a cockroach. To Scarlet. My condolences, Franco. For Joe. That lovely man. Yes. Yes. He's a sweetheart of a man. The Man From The Pru got filmed by my mum, where my mum lived. I took a few pics of it, says Lynn. Do you know what? I met, when I was at Merseyside, I met Jonathan Price, who played him. And I said to him, I was chatting, what a gentle person, very gentle, speaking. And I said to him, the Man From The Pru, I said, did you think he done it? And he said to me, what do you think? No, I used to lecture about it at that time as well. And I told him. He said, well, it's no use me saying what I think then, is it? I said, well, you're the actor. You played William Wallace. And he said, what you've just said, he said, no, we didn't do it. So he must have thought that he'd done it. Jonathan Price, lovely man. Bella, none. Yes, the live bed. Frank, can you make the text the right size for you to read? A teenager will sort it if you can find one. You've only got to live it. Oh, yeah, I've got this pain in my left arm every time I'm going forwards. And just put us in caps, like a couple do. Just put us in caps. That's all, Live. You know, if you're writing a comment, just put us in caps, like Lindsay Ellis there. Even in Frank and all chatted, the film, the Man from the Pru, oh, I've read that, haven't I? Yes, just put us in caps like that. What are you laughing at there? Sly boots. Yeah, that's that. Tuscala. Oh, yeah, you're talking to each other. And the poet says Esket is like a character out of Doctor Strangelove. He is, isn't he? Great film, that, by the way, Peter Sellers. Great parts he played as well. Satire. Lovely church. My missus loves going to churches. When we've been to Benidorm, we watched the parades. Some sight, says Barry. Very good. Johan, if they rename the Department of Defense to the Department of War, they should also start calling the war budget instead of defense budget. Yes. Good shout. Yes, 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 yes. Your Leeds fans are happy, and your friends say that. I got sent home from Easter feast with lots of leftover, fresh and smoked kielbasa, pierogies, and stuffed cabbage. That's nice. Dennis, all the way from Tampa. It will be over next month to play at the Cavern. And Phil says the billionaires are planning for the nuclear apocalypse. The billionaires are planning for they are buying properties in New Zealand as it's supposed to be. Is that? Oh, yeah, building bunkers. They've got them in America anyway. No, yeah, I understand what you're saying, to be honest, Phil. But nowhere will be safe. I'm telling you now, nowhere. Especially the way the winds are as well. Even if you go into the deepest bunker and you survive, you've got to be down there for years, come out, and you've got everything, radiation, everything. Because no matter what, winds carry, and winds go all around the world. And where you have devastation of nuclear attacks, especially in America, that'll go down to South America. Russia, it'll just go right down to the Asian, and then just across. You've got China involved, then you've got the South China Seas, then there from the South China Seas, if my geography is right, you've got you've got northern tip of Australia, and then it goes down there right through to New Zealand. You've got no chance. The world will be gone. The world will be gone. It'll go into a white ball. If you ever watch a film called Knowing with Nicolas Cage, have a look at it. knowing. That's all it's called. You know, like knowing me, knowing you, knowing. Gotcha. Bella says, Franco, I'm so sorry. Oh, yeah, Joe. Yeah, Joe. And Jason says, when you get the bigger monitor, the text will be out. Other than that, we need to upgrade the StreamYard package to adjust. Oh, I haven't a clue what you're going on. Well, yeah. Yeah. I don't want to be jumping on people. I'm awfully sorry. And Dennis the Barry Aldridge, Polish Czech from mum's side, kind of in the DNA, mate. So you're quarter Polish and a quarter Czech. I didn't know that, Dennis. Don't get me wrong when I say this, Dennis, please. But America is a mongrel race. It's mongrel. You haven't got a proper race of people. It's a mongrel race. As you just proved it there. Now I'm in caps. I feel like I'm shouting. Good live bears. I can read that without bending forwards and hurting my arm because I get in terrible pain. Dennis, that's some Katie Biden, my friends. Quarter this, quarter that. Right. Stuff going in a bunker in New Zealand. They have earthquakes, says Lindsay Ellis. Yeah, my dad came from Christchurch. And they have earthquakes. He's in the south. Well, he was in the South Island. And the poet, as Khrushchev said, if there's a nuclear war, the living will envy the dead. He did say that. My original last name was. I'm not going into this, people. I'm awfully sorry. I've got to carry on with this thing. But anyway, my original last name was Martin, so I've no clue on the bio dad's heritage. Martin. I know a couple of Martins, surnames, that is. English. On the waistline, I'm going to eat an Easter egg. Go out there. Well, fill your boots. Me too, Phil. Everyone's jealous. I'm going to start on this, boys and girls. And it's one of those things where it's very controversial. And don't forget, all you football fans, I've got a podcast tomorrow, football. Pre-match. Pre-PSG match. And this chap here. Now, this chap was accused. I used to have a picture. I'm not looking for it now because I should have got it today. I really should. I don't know whether I'm lazy or I was doing something today, by the way. My sleep pattern's gone and whatever. But the lady on the left is his wife. And that's William Wallace. And that's his wife. And when you think of the murder, and you has advertisements like this, catch him when he calls next door, the man from the Pru. So you see how this trial was going to be. Catch him when he calls next door. So let's have a look at this. Assurance agent for the Prudential. He married in 1913 to Julia Thorpe. Lives at Wolverton Street, Anfield. Julie becomes frail at the age of 50. Disrupts his hobby, playing chess at North John Street. And on January the 31st, a phone call at the chess club for Wallace from a Mr. Quattro, taken by Gladys Hartley and the club captain, Samuel Beattie. And they were asking for him. This Quattro was asking for him, for William Wallace. And he wasn't even known at the club, this Quattro. And he wants Wallace to arrange a policy for his niece, who was 21 at the time. And it was a big thing back in the day. It's 18 now. But back in the day, it was 21. When you turned 21, you became a man or a woman or whatever. And he wanted to give a policy, an insurance policy, for the birthday, for the 21st birthday. This is what the arrangements were supposed to be. And Wallace gave her the address to visit the next day was 25 Menlove Gardens East. Gets down to Menlove Gardens. So he got that message when he was at the club. He got that message because Gladys, the secretary, and Beattie, the captain, gave him this message to get to this address, and said, okay. So Wallace leaves his home at 10 a.m. for a round at Club Moor. This is the next day. He arrives back at 6:05 and he has tea with Julia, and he leaves at 6:45. And he catches the number 4 tram to Menlove East, which should have taken the number 7. So the conductor actually puts him off and points in the direction of Menlove Gardens West. Because in those days, you know, when you got on, you just got on, you sat down, the conductor then comes around and takes your money. So we got on the wrong bus, the wrong tram. Because obviously he was, there's the money to Menlove Gardens. Excuse me, this is my daughter phone messaging. Sorry about that. So anyway, he gets off at he gets off. Oh, fucking hell. This is fucking stupid, this. What? Sorry about that. Really am. It's so annoying. There's some fucking people. Anyway, the conductor puts Wallace off and points in the direction of Menlove Gardens West. Well, we all know that there was no such place as the East. And he proceeds to ask people for Menlove Gardens East. People have never heard of it. Only North, South and West. Goes to 25 Menlove Gardens West, inquires to a Mrs. Martha. Does a Mr. Quattro live here? No, is the reply. Then he asked that policeman P.C. James told him to go to the post office and look up at the directory. So he goes there. Wallace decided it was a fruitless quest and returns home to Wolverton Street. Because when he goes into the post office, you know, he's sitting there, he's going right through things. Now, the post office back in the day, you're talking 1930s here, 1931. Excuse me. And they were open till 8 o'clock in the night. So he said, listen, mate, I'm shutting. You got to go. So he said, okay. Gave the directory back and went home. Wallace explains to neighbours, Mr. and Mrs. Johnston, about his fruitless journey when he arrived back at Wolverton Street. So he gets off the tram, bus, whatever, goes there, and he sees them walking down the road, down the street. Mr. and Mrs. Johnston. And they say, obviously, hello. And he just said, just been up a fruitless journey up to Menlove. Been around there hours looking for this particular person. So he explained when he arrived back at Wolverton Street, and he told him the front door was unusually locked and the back door. Both had been locked from the inside because he'd been trying to get in when he arrived back. And he went around the back and he tried to get in there. So he was knocking on the door to get in. Both of them had been locked from the inside. And he's telling Mr. and Mrs. Johnston. Then he went back around to the back door. Down the entry, into the back door, and bang, he got in. But he got in at the second attempt. The first attempt he couldn't get in. Don't forget he was banging to see, you know. As he said, his wife to open the door. Might have thought she was asleep or whatever. And she didn't hear the knocking. Don't forget, she was frail. And then when he gets in, 3 minutes later, he runs from the house screaming, "Come and see. She's been killed. Come and see. She's been killed." Julia's body was found in the parlour by the yard. Her skull had been smashed in. Even the parts of her brains were spattered over the floor. So in that was a frenzied attack. Frenzied. There was £4 missing from the cash box. £4. And Mrs. Johnson actually picks up the loose change. The loose change. Now, at the time, there had been a spate of robberies in the area. And this Chief Superintendent Moore, who takes charge of the investigation, now this fella, he wants quick results, this fella. Quick results he wants. And when he sees Wallace, he goes, "Okay," he said, "this is now a crime scene. Have you got anywhere to go? Can you go anywhere while we investigate?" And he said, "Well, I've got a sister who lives down on the Ullet Road." So we said, "Okay, go down there." And before he goes, he says, "I want everything you're wearing. So go and change. And take a couple of clothes with you." So everything, including the shoes, the socks, suit, everything, he takes. The cops, they take him, and after him taking them off. And don't forget, as he's taking them off, there's a policeman with him all the time. And the police then begins to search Wallace's home. Then, with this fella, this Moore, he wants to have a quick case, in and out, closed and shut, bang, gone, open and shut case. He wants it done there and then. So he arrests Wallace for the murder of his wife, Julia. Now, the venue for the case is St. George's Hall on Wednesday, the 22nd of April, 1931. And for the Crown, we had a Mr. Edward George Hemedy, King's Counsel. For the defence, Mr. Roland Oliver, King's Counsel. And Mr. Justice Wright was the presiding judge. Roland Oliver, remember his name. For the defence, Mr. Roland Oliver. Now, here's the Crown's evidence. A stranger calling only 400 yards from the house. Now, he's calling this particular Quattro 400 yards from the house. And he's phoning up where the where Wallace, as his hobby, of playing chess down in North John Street. So why didn't he just go over? This is what they're saying. Why didn't he just go over, knock 400 yards? Why didn't he just knock this Quattro? Or could have written a letter. Or even left a note at Wallace's home. This is the prosecution. This is their case. Yet, as they're saying, and this is George Hemedy talking to the jury and to the gallery. And what a curious way for alibis. He speaks to tram conductors. Not just one, but a couple of them. He speaks to members of the public. Excuse me. Then he speaks to a police officer. And he even speaks to the manager of the post office as he looked for the directory. Now, this is their case. This is what they're saying. This is what they're saying. But as you and I know, even today, if someone got on a bus, say like from town, or say from out, say around the Anfields Way or anywhere else for that matter, Bolton, anywhere. And even today, people say, listen, can you put me off at the Rotunda? Now, there hasn't been a Rotunda since the Second World War. Yet people still say it. So you do ask the bus driver today, can you put me off at such a place? Yeah, okay. Because you want to pay the right fare, for example. And if you were looking for a street yourself, you asked the driver, don't you? Back in the day, you asked the conductor when he was going around, listen, can you put me off at such a place? I need to get to such a street. Okay, lads, yeah. All right, love, yeah, whatever. And it's a normal thing to do. And what's the old saying? If you're in doubt, ask a policeman. So there, from right there and then, if that's the prosecution, there's something phony about it. Because you do ask. If you're looking for a certain place, you do ask members of the public. You do ask a policeman. You do ask the conductor to put you off at such a place. Then there was the case of the locked doors. The case of the locked doors. The front door and the back door. And after he breaks in, supposedly, and he runs out, shouting, she's dead, she's dead. Come and see. And then the cash box is on the floor. And she picks it up, the woman. But he says, there's £4 missing. How did he know that? How did he know that? As that Mrs. Johnson was picking up loose change off the floor. and she handed them back the cash box. Then they say they have Julia's ailment. Now, what he used to do every morning before he went to work, he used to get up, make the fire, because back in the day it was coal fires, and he had to make the fire for her. Then he had to do a breakfast. Then he had to get ready himself and go to work. He used to carry her down to the parlour and put her down on a couch. And he used to get the coal scuttle so she could just get up and put some coal on the fire to keep it going. So there was always a blazing fire. Now, this is January, remember, so it's cold. It's winter. And this is what he used to have to do every single morning. Then come home at lunchtime to give her lunch. Then go back out to work again. Then come home. And he had to do the tea. He had to rake up the fire to keep it going. Until Julia went upstairs to bed. He used to carry her upstairs, put her to bed. And this is her ailment. So he did everything. And the prosecution was saying, now he's starting to get fed up. Because he couldn't really come and go when he pleased down for his hobby, which he loved. He just loved going down. And before I go on to the next one, I'm just going to have a little break, ladies and gents, because I haven't had a cup of tea, and I'm going to make myself a cup of tea. Thank you. We've taken the short journey from the man in the pyramid to the man in the tunnels, the mole of Edgehill. After the Napoleonic Wars of 1815, there were many British soldiers unemployed. Also, there were French prisoners of war who were incarcerated in Liverpool and needed to get back home, but unfortunately, they had no money. One man came to their rescue. This man, Joseph Williamson, the mole of Edgehill. You've all heard of a money pit. This is the ultimate money pit. The French and British soldiers who were once bitter enemies were now working side by side. What was the purpose of these tunnels? Was it for canals? Was it for the railway system? Were they for drainage? No, they were plain follies. After 200 years, the pick marks are still visible today after all the hard work by the soldiers just to get back to France. Joseph loved his wife that much that he had a tunnel specially dug
from his house in Mason Street up to the church in St Mary's, so that if it rained, she wouldn't get wet. And it became the most expensive umbrella in the world. Joseph Williamson spent the equivalent of £26 million of his own money so that soldiers could go back home to France and so that he could live underground just like the mole. We've just been in an enclosed space, but you don't realise the vastness of the tunnels. Just have a look at this. His tunnels did set the precedent for the forthcoming railway system when the engineers used his idea of tunnels to get from A to B. The tunnels are still being excavated even today, and some of the finds have been extraordinary. The likes of crockery like this, wonderful old bottles like this. But one of the finds is this. Just take a look at it. And it's an old kiddie's car. It could even be yours. And looking at it, I think it's run out of its MOT. The myth surrounding Joseph Williamson digging all the tunnels around Liverpool is a myth, because Joseph Williamson dug the tunnels here in Edge Hill where he lived, and only here.
Got to thank Jason for giving me that break. I've got myself a little cup of tea. Little cup of tea. But Frank. So let's carry on with the case now. So that's the prosecution. That's the Crown evidence. A stranger caller. The club where he plays his hobby of chess. And he could have just gone to the house. This is the evidence. This is the Crown. This is a weak evidence, because he did say, why didn't he go to the house? Why didn't he leave a note? Why didn't he write a letter? And a curious way to get alibis that he was actually there, wherever. And whenever the murder was taking place. So he's asking everybody from conductors to members of the public to the police officers. One police officer. Then the locked door. Then the cash box. And Julia's ailment, because Hemedy said, the King's Counsel, he was fed up with it. He was fed up with running up and down the stairs, fed up with getting back to work from work to make a lunch, fed up with making fires every single morning and make a breakfast before he went to work. So they were painting a picture, really, of hate. And I don't like that word, hate. Myself. So the jury's looking. The jury's looking, you know, at Wallace, as they're coming out with all this. About alibis, about bringing Julia up and down the stairs, looking after her while he's working. And really stopping him from enjoying himself at his hobby club down on North John Street. And this is the picture they were painting of Wallace. A nasty picture at that. So, Wallace was convicted of the murder and he was sentenced to hang at Walton Jail. Wallace appealed his conviction and his conviction was overturned by the Court of Appeal because of the weight of evidence. Therefore, Wallace was freed after being found guilty. It was one of the first to be overturned. The verdict in the annals of the judicial system. So, who did the murder? Now, from the beginning, Wallace protested his innocence until his death in February 1933 at Clatterbridge Hospital. Think about that. Clatterbridge. And the crime experts at the time was a fellow by the name of J.H. Gort and Edgar Lustgarten. Now, the older generation would remember the Edgar Lustgarten. Remember, he used to, and years ago, I think it was in the 50s and 60s, he had famous crimes, true crimes on the telly. Now, there was a fella named Parry, Gordon Parry, and they, both Gort and Lustgarten, said he did it. Parry, it was established, worked with Wallace at the Pru. And he was also acquainted with Julia and often visited her when she was alone. And had known about, he known about the routine of Wallace. And he also knew about money being kept in the house from the rounds. So how did Wallace know that there was £4 missing? And that was one of the key elements of the trial. How did he know that there was £4 missing? Simple reason is there were notes, and there was no notes in the cash box. Just notes, 4 notes, and loose change that Mrs. Johnson picked up. And also, how come it was locked from the inside? the front door especially. Come to that in a moment. Now, Parry had no alibi for the night of the murder. Don't forget that there'd been a spate of robberies at the time up in the Enfield area. As his car washed, mechanics actually found blood-stained gloves on the back seat. He has a violent temper, and people were actually afraid of him. And even Wallace named Parry, because obviously they said, "Well, you want to do this to your wife?" And he named Parry. And Parry at the time was desperate for money. And once Wallace was freed, he left Liverpool. And he went to live in North Wales, by the way. No one knew at the time where he went to live. And yet Wallace had a vital witnesses, and they weren't called. The prosecution wouldn't allow them to be called. And the defense, Mr. Roland Oliver. Remember when I said bear that name and, in your mind, that name, Roland Oliver. Now, Roland Oliver, when he was a barrister, he was a defence barrister. And he was one of the worst defence barristers ever, because he believed anyone, even if he was defending him in the dock behind him, he always said, "There's no smoke without fire." Even the people that he was defending, he thought was guilty. So these particular witnesses, he didn't give a toss about them. The young boy, Peter Allen, who called at Wallace's house at 7 p.m. and Julia answered him. Because his dad, he used to go around collecting the money. The lad, Peter, he's only 12. And he used to collect the money because he used to help the milkman. And his dad said, "Listen, once at 7 o'clock, stop collecting, get right home." Because dark nights, you see. You're talking January. You're talking January. "I want you straight home." "All right, Dad, I'll be home." And that was his last call at Williamson Street. And he was knocking until Julia opened the door. And she said to him, "Oh, you'll have to come back. Mr. Wallace isn't in." And this is at 7 o'clock. And where was Wallace? Where was William Wallace at 7 o'clock? He was up looking for Mr. Qualtrough up at Menlo. Wasn't he? In fact, that lad, the young milk boy, Peter Allen, during the Second World War, he became a fighter pilot. And he was killed, unfortunately. He was killed. And what about the mechanic who had seen the blood-stained gloves and the starting handle, because the prosecution couldn't find a murder weapon. And yet the mechanic said about the bloodstained gloves on this Parry's car, or in this Parry's car, and also the starting handle of the car, which was thrown in the back. The back seat, that is. The floor where the back seat was. Blood stained. With hair on. Don't forget, they never found a weapon. A murder weapon. Couldn't find one in the home. And two women. Now, women in those days, even today, you know, they used to talk over the fence or at the back door. They used to like to talk. This is 1931. This is no tellies, you know, very rarely that even the wireless in the house. So they used to just chat at the door. And yet these women who were talking, they seen a man coming out of Wallace's home and speeding off in a car. The same car that was identified by the mechanic. Why weren't these called? These vital witnesses. As I said about Roland Oliver. And there's the murder scene. This is the home. And what he used to do as well, Wallace, he used to play on the piano for Julia. And there's a body. And there's the couch to the right that she used to lie on. It was a horrible murder scene. And there's Wallace there. Did he look like a murderer? Who does? And that's a headstone cemetery. Strangely enough, there used to be an I forget his name. There used to be an investigative reporter for Radio City. And in the 70s, they found that Gordon Parry, living in North Wales. What was his name? Roger someone. And he got hold of him. And he said, would you be willing to come in and talk about the Wallace case? Because don't forget that these experts said that Wallace didn't do it. Also, the likes of Parry, who left after Wallace was freed, after his conviction being turned over. Why did he leave? Why did he leave the city? So this, what was his name? forget his name. He said, would you come into the studio and chat? He said, yeah, I need a lot of things to taken off my chest. So the interview was supposed to go ahead 2 weeks later. Parry had died in the meantime. So my opinion, and a lot of other people's opinion, Parry did it. And he was wrongly convicted, William Wallace, of the murder. All because of that Superintendent Morey wanted a quick conclusion to the murder case, and he just arrested him. And one thing that the prosecution said, the defense said there was none at all, any forensic evidence that he did it. There was no blood splatter on him when they did his clothes, went through with a fine-tooth comb, found no blood whatsoever. And that was the defense. And one of the most important things that they did say, the defense, the way the prosecution was saying about Julia and the ailment, her ailment, he loved his wife. He would do anything for his wife. He made her as comfortable as possible. There was no background of him seeing another woman or anything like that. None whatsoever. Even the people in the chess club all vouched for Mr. Wallace being a quiet, unassuming man. Even the people that he went to collecting the insurance, or the assurance, not insurance, assurance, every week, saying that he was a lovely man. And as it says, within 3 years, after being accused of murder, brought on the horrible disease, and he died in 1933. Only lived a couple of years afterwards. William Wallace. William Wallace. Sad, isn't it? If people, if cops want you, they go after you. Like that Bert Balmer. Remember Owens Oliver? I said about if there's anyone behind him who is defending, there's no smoke without fire. He was the judge in the George Kelly case, the Cameo murders. He was the judge. So when Kennedy, Connolly were in the dock, he must have been looking at them and saying, "You're guilty. You two are guilty. You've done this murder." And as we know, George Kelly was exonerated from the murder. But it wasn't until this millennium that he was exonerated. They hanged an innocent man. Even the first trial, he would have got away with it because it was 11-1 not guilty. But in those days, they needed a majority. But the likes of Burma made sure that the second trial, they were tried separately. And they put Kelly up first, where it should have been Connolly. It should have gone in alphabetical order. Connolly should have been up first. But he wanted Kelly up. He wanted him found guilty. Let's see what he's just saying. He's going on about nuclear war here. As Linda says, there's stuff going into a bunker in New Zealand. They have earthquakes. The poet says, as Khrushchev said, if there's a nuclear war, the living will envy the dead. Yes. My original name was, oh, God, blimey. This is a match. Even Amby said, I've experienced 2 earthquakes, one's in Yorkshire, and I experienced an earthquake in Turkey, and it was 6.9 or something on the Richter scale. Did Liverpool ever have a serial killer? Yes. Yes, Gary. And I've actually done it. Me. Not me, like, I'm not this serial killer. I could be killing you now, couldn't I? I'll be A. Frank. Killing us here. Yeah, we did. We certainly did. And Gary says, what number are it road? Not saying what number mine is, but I've looked into the history of this house. I'm not telling you. I don't know to be. I think it was 57. 57. Cedric. Hi, Cedric. Big up, legend. Others try to imitate, but there is only one Frank. Oh, that's nice. Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you so much, Cedric. You're in my next film on me. Me, you, George Clooney and Brad Pitt. And Leonardo DiCaprio. And then as you... Great that, Frank. Oh, thank you, Jen. Really appreciate it. And Barry says, no, Anthony, no, got rid of him. It's the end now. He's gone forever. Phones him up this afternoon. I said, listen, Anthony, don't want you with me anymore. He said, but Frank, why? I said, no. the chatters have been chatting to me, sending me messages saying, what have you got him on for? Why don't you do it yourself? Know what I mean? So I had to get rid of him. It's like that, isn't it? Even Jason said, get shot. So I said, all right then. And if you believe that, you'll believe anything. No, he's got to get, he's finishing off. You want to see what he's doing, for this exhibition. Fantastic, I'd love to show you, but I can't. The paintings for the exhibition, so he's working on it. I said, well, all right, I'll tell you what. I said, I'm doing football this week anyway. And I'm to be doing the conspiracy theories and the other thing, the current affairs that's going on. The likes of Russia and Ukraine and Iran and mad Trump, the empire maker or the empire failure, the lunatic. Talking about them. He shouldn't get away with this. He should be in jail. He should be held accountable. These Americans are horrible. Every single, I'd say from Lyndon Baines Johnson in '63 after the assassination of JFK. Because what you've always had ever since the Second World War in reality, the MI6, the military complex, industrial complex. They love making money. Then they bribe the politicians, and they have been for years, to make bombs, to make planes, to make everything. Weapons. And they bribe politicians for it to keep going. That's why they have wars all the time. There's no way that JFK would have gone into Vietnam. There's no way that Robert Kennedy would have gone into Vietnam. If they would have been in Vietnam, then he would have dragged them out. And also what you've got to look at, Tricky Dicky Nixon. Why was he impeached? What did he do? He went to China. If you think about this, he went to China and visited Mao Zedong. The Americans hated that. Why? Because China are the enemy. And what else did he do? He pulled out his troops from Vietnam, whereas they don't give a monkeys who gets killed, these Americans, They don't give a monkeys. Just like this dope, Trump, by saying, kill them all, kill them. That's what he said. Same as Escott, kill them. This is live. This is in press conferences. They say this. Kill them all. Kill them. You've only got to look at the 170 schoolgirls from the age of 7 to 12 being blown to pieces and also burnt alive. Not with one bomb, not with 2 bombs, but missiles, but 3. aimed at them. And who else was killed? The teachers. That's what the Americans are like. Who's going to be held accountable? Is Israel going to be held accountable? Is Israel going to be held accountable for what's going on in Gaza? Oh, dear. No, he won't. And Johan said, was it Roger Wilkes, Radio City, who killed Julia Wallace? No, it was, I forget his name, but it was a fella named Gordon Parry who killed her. That's who killed her. Was it Roger Phillips? No, Roger. I forget his name. Honestly, I forget his name. He was an investigative reporter for City. Oh, was it Roger? Was it a fella named Roger? I forget him anyway. And he was going to give the interview. Going to give the interview. The sad thing is, or the unfortunate thing, not sad, we can go and piss off him. That Parry. He died. He died before he gave the interview. And this investigative reporter said he would have confessed to that murder. So we must have known that he was dying, because he did die, by the way, 2 weeks before he was given that interview. And Phil says, sad story, poor Mrs. Wallace and Mr. Wallace. Yeah, shocking. He loved her. He loved her, Phil. She loved him. But that Wallace, what's his name, Parry, he used to go and visit her, and she was afraid of him because he was a bully. And he must have been asking her for money. And obviously, she must have said, I'm going to tell my husband, when he gets in. And he's just killed her. It was a frenzied attack. There was no blood whatsoever on Wallace. No blood whatsoever. Nothing to connect him to the murder. And it was only that Superintendent Moore, he just wanted an open and shut case. I'll be doing one more murder next week. And this is the most controversial of the lot. The most controversial of the lot. It was shocking. Shocking. Next week's one. If you think that was bad, and you think the George Kelly one was bad, oh, have a look at this one. And the Burns and Devlin, remember them? Those two. If you think that was bad. And they were hanged as well. Wait till you hear this one. But I've got lines up. And what happened? You know, people say that the most controversial case, which it was very controversial, was the Timothy Evans case and Reginald Christie. When Christie did the murders and Timothy Evans, the husband of the girl who he murdered, Christie, was hanged at Rillington Police. As you know, a film and everything, books were written, film made. And I think that was Dickie Darling Attenborough's best ever performance when he played Christie. And John Hurt played Timothy Evans. But the real life case was shocking. Again, they just want... You know, you think our police were great. Our police were fucking terrible. If they wanted you, they'd have you. Innocent or not. You've only got to look at Bert Barmy. What a horrible person he was. So we got George Kelly. Remember when I said about Kelly when I did the cameo murders, and he said, come on, me and you, just take your badge off and let's have a go, me and you, just have a go. Nope. The only other go he has was going to a hangman's noose. Kelly. See, our police, you know the Bobby on the beat. Fuck. They're not so nice. They're not so nice. Oh, Dennis. Thanks, Frank, for another fascinating story. A shame the cops ran an innocent man into the ground. It's like your country, Dennis. How many people have gone to the gas chamber, the electric chair? Now it's the hanging as well, and the needle. Innocent. Just to get a case done and over with. It happens in every country. Open and shut cases. Just for the sake of having them shut. Innocent people going to their demise. It's mad. Not mad, corrupt. It is easy to be found guilty, but hard to prove your innocence. That's a cracker belly. Yeah. If there's any corruption within the judicial system, you've got no chance. No chance whatsoever. I'm not telling you, but I won't be doing that. The McDonald's and the Maudsley. I won't be doing it. It's another fella I'm doing. And this fella was ruthless. And I don't think you've ever heard of him. Ruthless, this man. And they don't even know how many he actually killed. good, you know. So we did have a serial killer who was absolutely ruthless, to say the least. One of the worst serial killers, by the way, ever, here in Liverpool. But it wasn't like, you know, like the other week or anything last year, or, you know. But this fella was ruthless. Disregard for humanity. For profit. For profit. This man killed for. And Johan, so you're playing two roles in the film with Cedric, since you are Brad Pitt as well. Yeah, that's why I've got to get my tooth done. $700 plus it's cost them. I think I'll do a couple of mazes to get. Or just sue Nestle. Two roles. Yeah, playing a dual role. Johan, you found me out. And the live birds, as you say, the police want to close cases quick because essentially they are late. They are lazy and to an extent corrupt. If they are prepared to literally steal an innocent man's life. Yes. 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 I'm trying to think of something. I'll wait till I get me tooth. You'll just see me with big smiles for everyone. What did young Lauren say to me on air? She said, "Don't worry, Frank, my granddad had dentures. I've got no dentures." He broke his dentures. I've got no dentures. Well, I'll go with that, won't I? Well, I won't be a denture. I'm getting it screwed back in. The pain I go through. But that's a good shout there, live. Excellent, in fact. And Phil, best book I've read recently that allowed me go make sense of this madness, The Whale for Sale. Factual, excellent. The Whale for Sale. Well, of course the whale's for sale. Anything's for sale. You've only got to look now. What's happening to the Greek islands? Have you any idea what's happening to the Greek islands and Cyprus? What's happening to them? And it's being allowed, and it should never be allowed. And you can take in South America as well, honey. What I've just said. No, I mean, was the host Roger? No, it wasn't Roger Wilkes. It wasn't Johan. Hey, Johan. I was. I commented on I was watching something about the Iran war, and I seen Myra Page, and I just said, "Hiya, Myra," and she got back, "Hiya, Frank," and all that, and she swore, she said, "I want an apology off Johan, because I'm not ting ting," and she swore. I think she's a bit of a divvy, to be honest. You find these things out, don't you? And I just said, "Is that why you're being on? Because of that apology for saying, ting ting." Asshole. Some fucking assholes. And the live, when we lived in Greece, our kids did earthquake drills like they do fire drills here. I've experienced quite a few. One threw me out of bed. That was in 86. I could say something there, but I won't. I'll get myself into trouble. Off you. Threw me out of bed. It's only humour, though. It's only humour, Liver. And Phil says, "The earth moved for you." Oh, shut up, yeah. The earth moved for you. Oh, Liver, the earth moved for you, says Phil. Oh, great. Not in a good way, she says. And then he says, "It's saying Roger Wilkes on Google." Oh, well, it must have been him then. Roger Wilkes, yeah. Well, I said, didn't I? Well, Roger, yeah. Does it mention anything about, then? Does it mention anything about the Wallace murder, by the way? On that fella, Gordon, what's his name? Parry, Gordon Parry. I don't Google anything, mate. I never trust Google, by the way, as well. Anyway, imagine sitting in Sherlock's living room and taking about coppers again. Mr. Doyle knew it all along. He did. He did, didn't he, Arthur? Good show there, you. And Phil. Like the copper sneered and asked the teddy boy, "Do your toes go to the ends of them shoes?" The teddy boy asked the copper, "Does your head go to the top of that hat?" Is that a joke? Does your toes go? That's mad, that. That is mad. It's like jumping into a nuclear bunker, isn't it? How big's the bunker? It's only fit for one. Get out, you're not coming in. But I'm your wife. I don't give a fuck. You're my wife. You're not getting in. Dollar. Then the big white thing. And Barry says, your stories are so good, Frank. You must have a vault of knowledge in that mad head of yours. Mad head. And Phil says, there was Irish sisters in Liverpool that killed a few people, yet they were serial killers. The Black Widows. The Black Widows of Scotland Road. Pair of sisters. And I've done them before, but it was strange. Well, it wasn't strange. They were getting hanged in the march, and they were being hanged in a shed, an open shed. And it was sleety and it was cold. And I think it was Margaret Higgins who said, come here, it's cold. And I'm getting wet. This is true, this. I'm getting all the snow and the rain's hitting me. Can we come back tomorrow and do it? That's what she said. Can we do it tomorrow? I'm cold. It's going to be a lot colder. And became a lot colder. Horrible, them two women. Horrible. Yeah, they were serial killers. Killing their own family. For profit. But the one I'm going to do, I think they're bad. Oh, don't worry, Phil. Our fairy friend from Leeds said, my teeth are like the stars, they come out at night. See what they do, the dentist, I know that they'll just one of them things that you do take out, but I don't want that. I'm getting this screw back in. My tooth, I've got it there. So they'll drill up, take the root out, and then screw it in, or they'll make me a tooth and screw that in. Then I'll turn around when they ask for the money. Screw you. Alive a bit. Back in the day, we had two policemen in our village. They were known as Wallace. The police pronounced Polis in Scots, and Fowler, the prowler. Fowler, the prowler. That's what we called Robbie Fowler, played for Liverpool. Fowler, the prowler. And Johan says, please apologise to her on my behalf, but how did she know I called her Ting Ting if she wasn't here? Don't know. I did apologise, I said, Johan wouldn't, whatever the fucking says anyway. But I think she's a bit of an arsehole, to be honest, to come out and say that. And swore. So, take no fucking notice of her. It's saying, oh, It's saying all you've said, Frank. That Parry died in 1980, weeks before Wilkes had the. Oh, good. Oh, that's great, that. Thanks, Den. Thanks, Denny. It was 2 weeks before. Never forget that. I was lecturing somewhere. I've done all them murders over the years, and I remember that. I think he was going to confess. I think he was dying anyway, and he was going to confess. To be honest, Denny. Frank, get over and get some turkey teeth. I hope no one calls me turkey. I can't believe the price, though, because I haven't got a dentist, and that's why I'd say to people now, listen, you've got to get yourself a fucking dentist. It's ridiculous. Well, as you know, even Trump, going back to his first term, he said we've got to take that NHS. These people are paying nothing. And this is why it's being privatised. I remember a couple of years ago when I said about that consultant, that lady consultant, and she came out, she said, privatisation's not coming through the back door anymore, it's going through the front door. It's coming through the front door. And that was a consultant. It's the way it is, isn't it? Started my diet today, by the way. And when I have my jam roly-poly, I'm going to have sugar-free custard. I'm put on loads of weight. I had a pair of trousers, still got them. And when I went shopping, I put them on when Francine was taking me shopping to go around with the trolley users as a Zimmer. And I always wore either braces or a belt. Didn't have to. I put my belt on, but I'm telling you now, the amount of weight I put on. Turkey teeth. Thanks, Phil. Franco, as a matter of story, as a master. Franco is a master storyteller and a true pillar of Liverpool's local heritage. Love your show. Thank you, Bella. Mille grazie. Mille grazie. Cara mia. Bella. And you know what? I think she's blocked me because of it. My bad, but if you rewatch the stream, Ting Ting mentioned Ruby Boss T, which is from South Africa. And if you look at the current screen names, Myra Page shows up. Go away. Say no fucking notice. I'll tell you who to. No, I can't think of the name. I was going to ask you. Because on my pod, it is a pod. Do me a favour. Do me a favour, Johan, please. Have a look on the recorded pod I did about Liverpool's game, the last one I did, It went out last night, I think. Have a look at the comments. You don't have to look at me fucking talking. Have a look at the comments. And you'll come on to a fella, thinking cap or something like that. And he writes in caps. He writes in caps, Johan. Finds out who he is for me, because I think I know who it is. Finds out because he's a prick anyway. Please finds out who he is for me. Thank you. And Phil says they are on with the privatisation in America some years ago. Yeah. See, we get mostly our pharmaceuticals from America. That's what it's all about. And we're getting it. See, they've got no free healthcare. No free, everything you have to pay for. If we had it here, I'd be dead now. I wouldn't be here talking to you. I'd be fucking dead, mate. With the operation I had. No way. No way. I'd be dead. I'd be gone. To the big blue yonder in the sky. Or worse still, the other way. Most probably the other way. And the life of it, if they are buying Greek islands, they are idiots. Greece is on the fault lines, and islands are especially bad. Think of Santorini. Santorini of the roses. I will come to you each day. Used to sing that like a dope. Anyway, also, no beach in Greece is private. It's access for people. Point is, you've got to think who's buying it. They don't give a toss about that. They don't give a toss about that. To be honest, live a bit. That's it. Thinking cap. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Jay. Thinking cap, Johan. Please have a look at him up. Have a look at him up, please. And Phil says, in America years ago, a woman explained her elderly father had just remortgaged his house in his late 70s for 85 grand operation. The insurance covers less and less as you age. Yeah. Yep. That's America for you. That's your privatisation for you. We were the greatest on earth. You went to Cuba. Go and live in Cuba. Mind you, the Americans are going in there, aren't they? That's another thing. They want to take Greenland. This is America. This is Trump. This is this unhinged man who should be in the dock. But nothing will happen to him. He's murdered people. He's actually murdered people. And people don't realise, they say, oh, well, they're at war. He's murdering people. And they're exit. They're murdering people. And he should be in the dock. He should be in jail. What's a ransom? And people, you know, they get the wrong impression of Iran, by the way, because they say, oh, oh, look at them. They've got to wear those things all the time in the second class. Oh, fuck off, they're not. I've streamed it. I've streamed. You want to see it? Young girls not wearing those things. Middle-aged women not wearing those things. But you do see women wearing them. You see young people dressed beautifully. You think that they're going into town here for a night out. And you see them meeting in these big, like, these unbelievable shopping centres. God blimey, you want to see them. Fantastic. And they meet up for the coffee and they go to the cinema and everything. They haven't got all these things on. They're free. They're free. It's all a propaganda about everything. That's why they're on the axis of evil by America. America is named the country's axis of evil. And Iran is one of them. China is another. Russia, obviously, is another. It's shocking. North Korea. And all the propaganda. I was shocked, I'm being honest. It was only last year. Pyongyang, the capital of North Korea. And I was literally shocked. Like I was with Iran when I streamed. I never streamed Iran like now. I have. Last week I streamed it again. And this stream was done only in February. And you see them all walking them up, beautiful. But when I streamed it last year, Iran, and they were showing Tehran and the young people, incredible. But I knew that there was loads of propaganda going around about Iran. And the hangings and all the people demonstrating and getting shot, load of fucking nonsense. And who were the demonstrators, the last lot? Mossad brought them in, all the agents. They were the demonstrators. It's shocking what they do, what they get up to. Mossad and the CIA. And MI6 is complicit in it. We're complicit in everything. Everything that's going on in the world, we're complicit. And it's shocking. Disgraceful. Gary Rigby. The other way sounds more fun. What other way? The other way. I'm lost now. And Johan says, oh yeah, thinking cap guy. I saw him. He's schizophrenic. He goes on about the straw legal conspiracy on his channel. Refrain from interacting with him. He should be in a cuckoo's nest. Yeah, he's an absolute arsehole. I thought it was someone, especially when they're doing it in caps, and you know who I mean, and I don't want to mention him. Arsehole. You know, you just get arseholes every time, unfortunately. Don't bother with them. Thanks, Johan. Strawman legal conspiracy. And the liver birds. Frank, go to the NHS emergency dentist. Thing is, they'll just put one of those things in. I don't want that, to be honest, liver bird, so I'd rather pay. I don't want to be taking things out of a night, if you know what I mean. It's the way it is with me. I'm not like. I'm not like. I don't know. I just rather have it done properly. I think they wouldn't do it properly. I think they just give you one of them teeth, with a pallet on, and you just stick it in. I don't want one of them. That's why they tell you to take your teeth out. These. If you've got dentures, in case you swallow them, if you go to bed with them on. Shows you, doesn't it? Thank you, though, Liver Birds. You're a lovely person. And Jason says, I was thinking, Cap, I saw him post a comment having a personal attack on armchair. Then he deleted it. Oh, did he? I like that armchair. He was good. I wouldn't answer him. And Gary says, love Santorini. It was an expensive, though, compared to the other Greek islands. Yeah, Santorini's the one where, they just show the big blue dome, don't they? Beautiful Greek islands. I've been to a few Greek islands in my time. I've been to Rhodes. I've been to Corfu. I've been to Kos and somewhere else, forget. Those were in my young days. This is while I was at where you've got the beach babes. I was one of them fellas. Hi there, you all right? Do you want to go for a swim? No, I wasn't one of them. I couldn't swim anyway. I used to go paddling though. Are you going in the water? Are you going to have a swim with us? No, I don't like sharks. I'll go for a little paddle instead. Kipper me. Jason, Johan is spot on. He has a channel with a few videos on. I can't. The thinking cap. Well, the name thinking cap. So we must be thinking all the wrong things anyway. Fuck him anyway. The maniac better, says Gary Rigby. Keep his hands off Iceland. They haven't got an army. That's what I said ages ago, Gary. I really did. That once he goes into Iceland, no, it didn't. Once he goes into Greenland, he'll start moving eastwards. That's what America wants to do. And Iceland will go. See, they've already, got the likes of Finland. Finland is a stupid country. And they were forced into taking NATO. And why are they doing this? You're going right across the tundra. From Greenland right across the tundra to the likes of Finland and Father Christmas, just to surround Russia right on the borders. This is why you're having a war now with the likes of the European Union and also the Americans saying that NATO will be going into Ukraine. And Russia's always warned about it since 1989. 1989. Do not go into Ukraine. NATO. But no, they're still trying to. Just shows you, look what Russia have done. They only want those oblasts. Well, they've got them anyway. Russian speaking to save them from genocide. And people don't realise that they're committing genocide. Kiev against Russian speaking people in Ukraine. But now they're in the Russian Federation. That's it. It's over now. And look at America going in with them helicopters, with the lies that they were saving an American pilot. I think they looked at Black Hawk Down. Do you ever remember that film, Black Hawk Down? With that Luke Wilson, not Luke, his brother, and Gene Hackman. And you're only got to look at that and go, oh, I'm not having that, which I did. I don't believe any American nonsense about their armies or anything, a load of bollocks. They can't do anything without being backed. This is why they're struggling now with Iran. And if they do, if Trump does what he intends to, what he said he's going to do about desanitization and taking out everything, all the infrastructure. They did a war crime the other day, didn't they? By taking out it was under construction, a bridge. And they said, oh, that was for that was a war crime, by the way. It's known as a war crime. And they said, oh, no, it was for military operations. It was a military target. This is what the Iranians were doing. It was under fucking construction. How could it be? It was a brand new bridge. But they get away with it. They commit war crimes every time. Even going into Venezuela when people died because of it. That was a sovereign country. You've got Cuba, the starving Cubans, right now as we speak, because they said they're a threat. Are they having a laugh? And this is America for you. This is the times we're living in, with these lunatics trying to rule the world. But you've got China and you've got Russia. They're not going to rule them. You've got India. They're not going to rule Modi and India. India is a powerful nuclear country. And I just hope that Cuba goes into BRICS. But unfortunately, BRICS is thousands of miles away. And I think the ordinary Cubans, they're just friendly, loving people. Nice people. I nearly went there a few years ago. Excuse me, I never went. And I'm sorry I didn't go. But it's Steve Holland who comes on, my old mate. He's been there loads of times. And they're just friendly. I've got a couple of mates who've gone. They're just lovely people. And they'll just say, at least there'll be no sanctions if America come in, but you can't be having this bullying We're taking over your country, whether you like it or not. Because Venezuela, people don't realise what's going to happen to Venezuela and why the Americans have taken it, why he's taking it. And it's because of that Mikado. The little hat, the tiny hat, to be president. She's going to be president. You know, the one who got the Nobel Peace Prize, which is corrupt, by the way, wanting to bomb her own country. And she got a Peace Prize. What the fuck was that all about? I'm so pissed off. When I finish here, I go in, sit down, and I think. That's all I can do. No, well, I've got to phone my daughter up as well when she just said, Dad, ring me after your show, so I'll have to. Anyway, Gary says Iranians are the most hospitable people I've ever met. Pre-revolutionary days, they had rock groups and everything. Yeah, they did, Gary. Have you seen America? Have you seen America the way it is? I've got a friend who lives in Hollywood. And she was attacked last year. Could have been killed. Full of drugs. But they blame other countries, Latin American countries, for bringing them in. That they blame Maduro for bringing it. No, he didn't. Venezuela didn't bring in loads of drugs, send it in, export loads of drugs in it. It was based on a lie by Trump. He's just a fucking liar. Coming out with it all the time. And coming out to say that he's going to do to a country, put it into the Stone Age. They've only been going 250 fucking years. The Americans. And cause wars, cause chaos all over the world. Because they don't like Russia. They don't like China. Okay, now. And the propaganda with films. Fucking hell. Shocking. I was watching, I don't know what it was. I was watching a film and it was from the 70s. And then China gets mentioned, even then. Be wary of Chinese. In the film. And the likes of Russia. Them Russians. But then it was the Soviet Union. But Russians. Gets said. I forget what film it was. But you watch a film, any film, Russia, whether it's going back years ago or whether it's today, Russia and will always get mentioned. Look at John Wick. I love John Wick. Who's John Wick fighting? The Russian mafia. Can't make it up. The liver bird. The Greeks will deal with them. If they don't like something, they take this to the streets, making the French look like amateurs. Yeah, they understand that, but they'll be quelled. I'm telling you now. These are the Israelis. They're buying them up. It's like the NHS. And put that in comparison with it. we won't be able to do anything if this goes into privatisation. The NHS, what are we going to do? You can go out onto the streets. Do you ever remember the Iraqi war when 2 million took to the streets? They still went into Iraq, didn't they? They took no notice of the people. We're nothing. We are nothing. No matter what country you're in. There's a big demonstration in America by the Americans against Trump. The idiot Trump. What happened? Still there. Still wants a bomb everywhere. And have colour revolutions. And regime changes. Nothing's going to stop. People can't stop. Can't stop anyone. So if the Israelis, what they said, they're buying up Cyprus as well, what are the people going to do? They're going to do nothing. Can't do anything. Live. It's mostly nice people on your channel, Frank. I like having a chat. Says Gary the Rigby. They're very good people. And they have great comments. And I love them all. Love yous all. You might think that that's over exaggerating. I'm not. I mean it. Because I'm a genuine person, I think. I think I am anyway. I say what I mean, and what I say I do mean. Have you wondered about who is pretending to be Xabi Alonso on the chat? No. Who is it? Can you find out for me? Find out. Find out for me, Johan, please. I can't do it, because of this. I can't fucking do it. Dennis the Paparak. I had 2 implants top front. Was an adjustment at first, but so glad I got them and had the money to pay for them. Oh, see, Dennis lives in Tampa and genuine. He can walk out of his front door into, back door, onto his wonderful garden overlooking the lake. And what does he see? Alligators. Alligators. And he's coming over here. He's actually coming over next month, the end of next month, to play at the Cavern, which he has done in the past. The Cavern. Because he's in a band called The Incurables. And they're coming up to see me. Here. Me home. As long as he doesn't bring a, big alligator with him on a leash. Might give me one, mightn't he? Yeah, Frank, have this alligator for your protection. Dennis, America is great if you have the money. Yes. That Philadelphia, though, God blimey, oh, you want to see them with that fentanyl. And LA's getting the same. Santa Monica is an absolute disgrace. That was very exclusive area. Not anymore. The liver bird, to probably misquote Boris Pasternak, one man's opinion is another man's village. This is a foreign policy for most countries, especially the USA. What a crack of that. One man's opinion is another man's village. Yep. Just shows you, doesn't it? Just shows you. I love quotes. You know, when you see, let me phone going, phone going. Jesus. Excuse me. Just getting a message, all right. Yeah, I love quotes, loads of quotes. Like that live a bit. Like a man who does not think for himself does not think at all. Quote that is Oscar Wilde. Frank, you are spot on about Finland, says Phil. Finland is a stupid country. He's quoting Morris. Frank Carlyle. I'm talking about the politics of. I'm not saying, you know. I used to watch. I loved streamed a thing called Levi. I forget the name of the. Well, it's the Americans, isn't it, Levi? And it's a skiing place. Fantastic, you know, seeing these skiers. I'm talking about ordinary people going there, you know, skiing. Fantastic. Even little kids skiing. And I always streamed it. And obviously the Americans own it. And because it's called Levi. I forget the name of the place, actually. But it's not the ordinary Finns. It's just the politicians. Like our country's stupid, isn't it? I'm not saying you're stupid, ordinary people. Finland, says Gary, is beautiful. All those lakes and forests, and it's very sick. Yes. The only things that you've got to worry about with those pine forests are bears and wild animals and serial killers. They always seem to live in forests. So, Johan, Gary, we're talking about leadership, not the land. Thank you, Johan. To Gary. And Zenna says, my dental insurance considered it as cosmetic surgery, although I had an accident that caused the loss of the crowns I previously had. Crazy. Healthcare here sucks. Well, that's what during his campaign, as you know, Dennis, that's what he promised. That's what he promised about healthcare. And what he just said last week, we have 50 states. He said, there's too many. We can't afford this healthcare because he'd rather make bombs and give money to Ukraine. Glad he gave it to the MIC, the money. Forget the ordinary American people who really need healthcare. Shocking. And Gary says, I know, Johan, I was having a laugh about Finland. Yeah, we're all arguing now. I lived in Mykonos for years. I was an extra in Shirley Valentine. Was you? Was you? Very good. You'd never know what I was in. You'd never guess what I was in. Phil. and a play at the Empire. And Dennis says, have a good night, folks. Have a mate coming over to help me change guitar strings and neck stroke bridge setups. Trump sucks too. Can't wait for her. Can't wait to have a conversation with her, Dennis. Great lad, you know. And Phil says, Dennis, I was lucky enough to work in the USA for a couple of years. Loved it, but Americans work so hard. It's not like Friends. Yeah. I can imagine that. And Gary says, don't call them Scandinavian. Oh, do you mean? Do you mean the Finns? Good night, Dennis, says the lovely lad. Bella's leaving. Buonanotte, Franco and Chatters. Buonanotte, Bella. Buonanotte, cara mia. Gary says, USA could learn a lot from China, but Trump will never understand that. Trump's an idiot. I don't like calling people idiots, by the way, but he is. That I put on a comment. No one got back to me, like, I'm glad. I said, the White House is a lunatic asylum, and they've got the chief lunatic running it. What show was it on? Forgot. Oh, Sabby Sabs. Sabby Sabs. That's what it was on. Clinton was allowing the drug cartels. An interesting book about Clinton's No One Left to Lie to. They are hot. Oh, yeah, Hillary. Hillary. They call Hillary. Hillary. We came, we saw, he's dead. And that was about Muammar Gaddafi. And laughed about it on television. Horrible woman. Clinton. Both of them. Buonanotte, Bella, says our lovely extra from Mykonos. Shirley Valentine. I know the fella who wrote it. And when I wrote my play, I showed him it. He said, this is fantastic. This is fantastic. I said, thank you. Never get played, no. Don't forget, I remember that. They got fucking kicked out. Don't forget what the Americans did in Grenada in 1985. They have form. They went through, where did they go in Africa? One Christmas it was. And they got kicked out because no one was backing them. That's America for you. Make a movie out of that, you fools. And Phil, the NHS being deliberately scandalised. Oh, I like that. Scandalised every day and night in the media, brainwashing the public into thinking anything will be better. I don't read the media, but thank you for letting me know. And Barry says, Dennis, my mate told me he was going to hit me with his guitar. I asked if that was a threat. These are the jokes. Someone once said Florida is the Queensland of America. I can see that. Florida. Your idea, Mrs. Jason. Well, our old friend has renamed his account, if you catch my drift. It literally is his old account with all the chat history stored. Go away. You better keep me linked with these fucking people, Johan. Is it on Slot who's yabby? No, it's a person we know. Some dick. Frank, we chatters could rent a crowd for Dennis's band. I'll be great. It really will. It really will. Rent a crowd for Dennis's band. Yeah, he's appearing at the Cavern. I think he appears at both the club and the pub. The club and the pub. We chatters could be rent a crowd for Dennis's band. That's a crack of that. And Johan says to the live, Frank knows, ask him. I'm just a middleman. Yes, the middleman. So listen, next Monday, people, I'm actually doing a serial killer. And you will enjoy it. I think. And Phil says, Shirley Valentine was brilliant film. Tragic comedy. That's what it is, a tragic comedy. Shirley. But anyway, people, I'm going to end on that. I've got a phone there. Francine up, she said, will you give me a ring after the show? So I've got a ring here. I hope everything's all right. I've got this wonderful thing tomorrow. I've got the bloody football. Ain't doing it now, you know. But I've got the I don't know what to do on Thursday. I don't know whether to have a post-match or a murder thing. What do you think? Let me know right now. Let me know for Thursday. If you want me to do that serial killer thing on Thursday, I'll do it. And another murder, as by the way. Which is rather sad. Dennis Nilsson. I lived in London when he was... Go away. Did you? He was mad, him, wasn't he? Another fucking serial killer, him. Dennis Nilsson. Trump can barely string a coherent sentence together, says the liver bird. As for his administration, the lunatics have taken over the asylum. That's what I more or less I put, Lively. Honestly, that's what I more or less put, because I don't trust American presidents. All the POTUSs have was blood on their hands, every one of them. And when they voted in the very first black president, everyone was made up. I was made up. I said, this fella will do something now. Do something for the blacks. Especially down in New Orleans, when the Hurricane Katrina destroyed their homes. They still haven't got any today, 20 years later. 21 years later now. And Obama done nothing. Obama got rid of a man in the Middle East who was very good to his people, but the propaganda made him out to be a dictator and a murderer and everything, and that was Muammar Gaddafi. He's a horrible president. Obama didn't give a he's what you call, it's like that O.J. Simpson. He didn't give a fuck about his race of people. He was what you call a white black. He only mixed with whites. He just kept them at a distance. I'm not one of them, which is shocking, coming from a person like that, ignoring his own race of people. Johan. May the Lord bless Joe's soul and thank you for sharing his life with us. Thank you, Frank and Legends. God bless you all. Peace. Lovely. Thank you, Johan. And as Joe said, this wonderful man, that's all he wanted. That's all he wanted. Harmony. He said to me, "You're a lovely fellow, Frank." And he never said fellow, he said fella. I said, "Oh, thanks, Joe." He said, "And did you really come to see the channel?" I said, "Yeah. Yeah, I did." Even John Lennon said about the chance, they won't have a chance here. And they didn't. And they were a brilliant band. The Beatles loved them. So sad. Rest in peace, Joe. Rest in peace. Great show, Frank, and all the chat. Thanks, Phil. Thank you. Serial killer sounds interesting, Frank says. Gary the Rigby. Okay. That's why I want to do it, Johan. That's why I want to do it. So I'll tell you what I'll do here. I won't do a post-match. I might do a recorded stream for the Friday. So I'll do, if you want to join me, I'll do history and a couple of murders. How's that? Might just do one murder. I don't know. It depends. So I'll definitely do that for Thursday. At least you're letting me know, you see. I know the fella who played the waiter to Tom Conti. He actually owned a restaurant where it was filmed. Oh, go away. Go away. Tom Conti is a great actor. Scottish fella. Tom Conti, from Italian background. And you never heard of him, no. You never heard of him. Great actor. I have to take the dog around the block. Night all. You lovely chat. Isn't that lovely? The life, says Phil. Never post matches might be a post-mortem. That's what I think Johan was getting at as well. Okay, people, I'll be doing a pre-match tomorrow, and the watch along Wednesday. The watch along. And a couple of murders on Thursday. And a little bit of history and chat with you lot. Thanks very much for keeping me company. And as our Italian friends say, ci vediamo. See you soon. Ciao.